Hi, my name is Selassie Jumenu, and my individual project was on an R&D evaluator. And for this presentation, we're going to be looking at an introduction into the article that I used for the project. We're going to look at the approach. We're going to take a look at my system, and then we're going to look at some challenges, improvements, and lessons that I learned during this project. Alright, so first, R&D stands for research and development, and then the article is basically tasking us or me, to create a DSS, which is a decision support system for helping, a university or any company decide which research and development projects or proposals they will approve or decline. And the article that I used was from ResearchGate, and that is the reference. And the title is an Excel-based decision support system for scoring and ranking proposed R&D projects. Okay, so now let's take a look at the approach. This approach is quite simple. The code shows the formula and modeling and some of the math behind it, but basically we put the main inputs that I've listed here are the number of proposals that are going to be evaluated, the number of people that are going to be evaluating the set proposals, and the weights for each criteria, and then the proposal data itself. So, for this presentation, I'll have a demo version for this, which will make it quite faster, but if it was to be like a new proposal, everything will have to be inputted into the system and then calculated. And then what we hope to get out of that is an approval score, which has to be about 75, and then a decision, which is a yes or no. Yeah, so if we take a look at the system, I took some VBA screenshots. Granted, I will be going through the Excel workbook itself, just showing how the program runs, but these are just some VBA screenshots, and then I will be touching on some of the main parts of this. So if you look at the first one, this is the sub for the main menu, and then this just contains like option buttons, and there are 3 option buttons, which is gives the user the chance to either start a new program, or they can go straight into entering the weights, or they can go straight to the proposal data. Just giving them 3 options so that anytime they leave one side, they don't have to start the whole thing all over again. The next one is, so if they go into a new program, it's just a bunch of if statements whereby they have to fill in the blanks. And again, we will go through it in the workbook, so it'll make much more sense as you see me run through the DSS. So this just shows the number, the text box, and then if it should be empty, it has to make sure that all the fields are required, and then the ones that need numbers, it prompts the user to put in numbers in case they're putting in something else. This is the weighted criteria. This is the sub for the user form for the weighted criteria, which just basically guides the person through. There's a message box for each line, basically telling them what they should put in. And this is done on a Likert scale, and I believe that's so it's from 1 to 5, whereby 5 will be that it's very important, and then 1 will mean that it's not as important. And then finally, this is how the approved score is calculated. So, we have 6 weighted criterias, and those are pulled from the results. Those are transferred into the results sheets, but they're obtained from the weights user form. And then O is a merit score, and the merit score is calculated using the average mean of the evaluator's response, and then that is the formula for calculating that. And then this is just an if statement saying that if the approval score, which is H, is higher than 75, then it's most likely that the R&D will be approved. So we're going to go quickly to look at some challenges and possible improvements of my system, and then some lessons learned. So this project was very time consuming because we have Capstone and other things, so it's not it did take a lot of time to actually get everything to mesh together and work right. Strategy was very important, like knowing how you wanted to go about it was very important, because especially for me, because if not, before developing a strategy, I ended up just dilly-dallying and moving in between worksheets, not really making any progress. Sensitivity analysis was something that was supposed to be incorporated in this. However, I wasn't able to get that to function well, but I have ways by which the sensitivity analysis could be implemented. And one of them was, let's say if the budget of the company was low and they had multiple proposals, they could use the sensitivity analysis to try and re-rank them based on like a merits to risk type of, maybe plot a graph showing the merit against the risk, and then reorder the proposals based on that to see which ones they would benefit the most from, and then go with those. And then the complexity is also another thing. So these are possible improvements, as I was saying in the previous talking about in the previous slide. Maybe a risk versus reward graph that shows which proposal might be more beneficial to the company, and then the amount of funds requested against the figure of merits. Therefore, if they're requesting high funds, how beneficial is it to the company? Sensitivity analysis will make it more accurate, and then maybe you can use a P-score instead of a merit score to also improve the accuracy. Throughout this project, I improved my VBA skills, I improved my creativity, and also problem solving was one thing that I had to build up on or work better at. And now we will go to Excel to run the program. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start the program. And then, since I'm taking you through the demo, as you can see, there's instructions right under it where we're going to be in the program. Continue. Let's just say DSS test. And then we're gonna click 6. The difference between 5 and 6 is 1 just omits 5 questions. It omits one of these 6 questions, which is the programmatic return. And then here it says a max of 4. If you type 5, it'll prompt you. So let's just go with 4. And then here it does the same thing. So let's just go with 5 evaluators. Now it's asking for the weights. We're going to give everything a low priority and assume that everything is equal. And then now this takes us into our proposal data page. So I already have set scenarios, and the picture you see here are just the questions that are asked, and then you answer them accordingly. So let's just go ahead and calculate the first one using the merit score that I was talking about earlier, and this is the average mean response from all the evaluators. So if we calculate that, see that it displays everything in here for us. The title of the program is displayed in the top, all the information that you entered in the user forms, and then this is just to help with the table to let you know which one is the highest and which one's the lowest, and then the weighted criteria as well. So if we wanted to add another one, and then let's say we wanted to do 4, 04 for example, which is research or delivery, and then add a second proposal. That goes into the second spot, and then as you can see, they're all above a 75, so they all get approved. So if I wanted to edit the weights and then add some more importance to some of these things, so let's say if I made this 3 or 4, maybe basic return of a 2, business return of a 4 or 5. Okay, and that takes me back in here because I have to recalculate. And if I wanted to compare that against the other one, it's the same scenario. I just added the proposal, And as you can see that with the weight, when the weighted criteria is changed, the approval score drops, and therefore it will not be approved. So the more important, or based on the weights you assign to the criteria, that has a high correlation on whether or not the R&D will get approved. And again, as you can see that the number now changes, with the highest is at 130, and then the lowest proposal in there at 113. This counts the number of proposals you've actually recorded. This is the number that you actually have to evaluate. And then we can clear this table and end this program.